These are the Chat City interviews from 103.2 Preston FM.
So my guest in the studio, and it's lovely to welcome him back in again. We've not seen him for a few months, and that's Tom Brown. So Tom, a very good morning to you.
Thank you. Good morning to you too.
And thanks for coming in this morning. And a few things that we're going to be talking about, and I'm sure you have other things. But one that caught my eye was a project called Share a Story, which is in partnership with local nurseries. That sounds quite interesting.
Yeah, certainly. It's basically Share a Story is a book awards scheme that Lancashire Libraries have been running for, it's the past 3 years now. And yes, this year we've been doing it in partnership with local nurseries in Preston, the Harris Library has. And we have an events awards, kind of celebration event going on this Tuesday. That's the 1st of July from 10 to 11. So the Share a Story Awards, basically we go to nurseries and also in the story times that we have at the library. And we have 4 books that have been shortlisted for different age groups. And we basically read out the books and ask the kids to vote on which one they liked best. And so the celebration event on Tuesday will be celebrating the one that has won for Preston, which is called 10 Little Pirates. So we've been asking local nurseries and anybody else who'd like to come along. Obviously, it's very much an event suitable for preschoolers. Been asking them to come along dressed as pirates, and we're going to have a pirate-themed kind of hour from 10 to 11, where we'll be celebrating this particular book that's won for us. So yeah, so there's quite a few nurseries around the area that we've been working with on this, like Little Achievers and Pebbles and all those. So yeah.
What a great way of getting very, very young children involved in reading. And I would take it at that age, not a Kindle in sight.
Generally, no.
Still the physical book?
Very much still the physical book for that age. I think there's something always appealing about tactile nature of books, especially at that age. You even get a lot of books for preschoolers that make a big feature of it, with like furry stuff and things that it can feel and all that kind of thing. So I think physical books very much are the best for preschoolers in many cases.
Right, so there's lots of tactile books about, are there, these days, for very young ones?
Definitely, yeah. You can even get these books which people can use in the bath as well, that like completely waterproof and
is that right?
Kind of, yeah. I think we've had 1 or 2 of them in the library. We end up kind of not using them very often because once they've been used in one person's bath, they're probably not hygienic for everybody else. But yeah.
Yes. How many times could you share that?
Exactly. Yeah, not too many.
Oh, lovely. So is this the first time that this has taken place, the awards for Share a Story, or have you done this?
It's third year going. So I think the first year it was only a select few libraries in the county. It was a very like a pilot kind of thing. Last year there was half the libraries in the county were doing it. There's about 74 libraries in the county. And then this year every library has been doing it. So there's different age ranges, different categories, and so we've been focusing on the toddler age range this year. So we've got the kind of mid-range. There's a slightly older children, kind of 3 to 4 year olds. There's the baby books for the the 1-2 year olds. We've got the kind of 2 to 3 year old range this year.
Lovely.
But obviously everybody's welcome to come along and enjoy. I think we've got a few kind of chocolate coins for pieces of 8 and all that kind of stuff that we'll be giving out, and all kinds of lovely stuff.
I know it really is a good way, isn't it, of getting children into books, given that we hear so often of children who go home and maybe just watch television or computers. It's a lovely way of getting them to feel the physical book and bring the book alive through doing it in this kind of way.
Definitely. And I think the great thing about books, especially with very young children, is it's very much a kind of parent and child together activity. It's the parents reading to the child or helping them to learn to read, and it's very much stuff that obviously parents will have their own storytelling style that the kids kids always love their parents telling stories to them, don't they? Especially at bedtime. So it's very much a shared activity, reading at that age, which obviously we like to encourage.
Good. And we're heading towards, and there'll be a sigh from parents when I say this, we're heading towards long summer school holidays.
We are indeed.
So for those parents maybe who are, dreading it a little, what's on offer during the summer holidays that they can get children involved in?
Well, many people around the county, many children around the county may already know of this, but the Summer Reading Challenge is coming back this year. Every year in libraries we have this thing called a Summer Reading Challenge, and the idea of it is that over the holidays children are tasked with reading 6 books, and for every book that they read they get little sets of stickers and prizes and things as they go along to reward them for their reading. And this year the theme of the challenge is mythical maze, so it's all to do with myths and legends, so unicorns, Robin Hood, King Arthur, all the kind of Greek legends as well, all kinds of things like that. So to tie in with that, at the Harris Library this summer we'll be offering all kinds of activities for children and for parents to enjoy as well if they like. All kinds of activities over the holidays to relate to myths and legends, while also encouraging people to take up the Summer Reading Challenge and read over the holidays. We are scheduling all our activities to be Mondays at 2:00 and Fridays at 2:00, starting on the 21st of July and going all the way through to the end of August. So if any parents out there are stuck for something to do with their kids, then come along to the library, especially on a Monday or a Friday. And obviously we've got things going on throughout the week as well, and we'll always be able to find something for you. So that's what we've got going on there, really.
And what is really nice about all that is that it is educational, but it's fun, isn't it? So
yeah,
it's not as though during the school holidays that it's not like going to school, because that's very much about visualization, isn't it? About words in books, about books, but it's strongly about visualization, isn't it? That each child can get lost in their own visualization of whatever the theme is.
Yeah, certainly. Obviously there's the Summer Reading Challenge, a child can read absolutely any book that they want to for it. You don't have to focus on a book that's about a myth or a legend. That's the theme of the challenge, and obviously people are very welcome to read books on that. But yeah, obviously a lot of reading is about being able to visualize, interpret the words on the page to images in your head and all that, and yeah, it's always it helps the imagination so much, fuels the imagination. So yeah.
And do you see, Tom, younger children coming into the library with the parents? Because that must be really nice to see.
Yeah, certainly. It's always very nice to see. Obviously, during term time, it's usually on the Saturdays and the Sundays, so Saturdays and Sundays especially are a really nice day to work at the library. We've seen all the kids coming in and taking part in all kinds of lovely things. But over the holidays, we get so busy at the library. It's really lovely. It's the best time to me, it's personally the best time to be working at the library.
Yeah, that must be lovely to see.
Yeah.
And what else is happening? I know there's always lots of things over there. Is one of something about World War I coming up too? Because of course, August is the main year, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. So the official start date that many people refer to for World War I was July 28th, 1914. And so obviously it's coming up to the centenary of that, 100 years. And so during July and August there'll be all kinds of different World War I related activities going on in libraries across the county, including at the Harris Library. We will be having a talk retelling the story of a local soldier on Saturday the 2nd of August at 2:00. So this is a kind of an event for all ages, really. It's mainly adults for this particular one, but yes, so there's people from our kind of community heritage team in libraries have been focusing on individual stories of local soldiers, and they found a very interesting one for Preston. So if people are interested in hearing a more personal kind of slant on about World War One, and a very local slant on World War One, and they're very welcome to come along to that. We're also having a children's activity related to World War One as well, which is focusing on a wartime family. So the kind of things that that a family might have got will have gone through during World War One, and their kind of experiences. A lot of it will be kind of keyed into with this particular book that I have in my hand here, Private Peaceful by Michael Morpurgo. It's every 2 years in libraries we have something called the Lancashire Reads, and this year, especially tying in with the World War One centenary, we've chosen Private Peaceful by Michael Morpurgo. It's a book suitable for children and for adults and for everybody in between as well. And it focuses on the stories of particularly two brothers during World War One. Obviously, Michael Morpurgo, many of your listeners may have heard of before. He was the writer of War Horse, which was made into a film recently.
Yes, of course.
And was the children's laureate a few years ago now as well. So it's a very good book, which we'd definitely recommend to people. And in fact, we're also going to inviting local people to read sections from Private Peaceful and kind of piece it all together, so that in the end we've got a full retelling of the story from start to finish in the voices of people from Preston. So if any of your listeners are interested in volunteering for that,
so they could come along and
if they can come along and take part in our little activity there, and lend their voice, lend their vocal talents to a bit of a recording of Private Peaceful. Yes.
So certainly plenty of things happening.
Certainly, yes. There's always stuff going on in the library, so if anybody's ever short of anything to do, or even just wants to come along to somewhere that will welcome them, and a nice haven of civilization away from hustle and bustle, then yes, we hope you feel very welcome at the Harris Library.
Yeah, it's lovely to hear of all the things that's happening. So again, the kind of date for the Share a Story, the award?
Share a Story Awards is happening on this Tuesday, the 1st of July at 10 o'clock. So that's especially for any preschoolers and parents and grandparents and guardians of preschoolers to come along to that, especially if you like piratey stuff. Dress up
yes,
as a pirate, come along
yes,
to that.
I'm sure there'll be lots of adults would love to do that as well, Tom.
Yes.
So, and Mythical Maze, that's taking place.
Yep, that launches on 12th of July. We're visiting school assemblies in the next few weeks, telling all the kids at local primary schools about that. But yeah, that launches 12th of July and goes on throughout the whole summer. So it's for the reading challenge and also the activities that we'll be having for kids all through the summer there.
Lovely. Well, as always, a pleasure to have you here on Chat City, and thank you for coming in this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening. We hope you've enjoyed the interviews as much as we have. Why not give us a tweet at Chat City BFM?